Hey everyone, Nat Daddy here with the new book reviews for Friday, April 11th, 2025. Bit of a lighter week when it came to new releases. So I got about 11 or 12, I think it's 11 books here ready for you guys. Here we go. We have Absolute Batman #1. This is issue 7. Everyone's been loving this series so far. This is a new artist taking over for this 2-issue story. It introduces the Victor Mr. Freeze into the Absolute Universe here. Marcos Martin doing the art this time. Scott Snyder still doing the writing. And again, it just keeps showing Bruce Wayne becoming this Batman, this absolute Batman. Introduces the Matches Malone person in here. It is not Bruce this time, it is somebody else. And we find out that Victor Freeze is still a scientist in here, but he doesn't, he's not kind of trapped from a scientific accident living in a suit. Everything here seems to be more biological horror type. So we see Batman and Bruce Wayne himself trying to get into this Arkham project where it's like the jail that they're building out there, and he does get in there finally on the team to build Bruce Wayne, and he meets this Victor Freeze, and he learns that he is doing all this research and that because his parents used to do research on glaciers and they got sick from it, and he is sick from it as well too. And it's almost like he's some kind of like monster ice vampire or something. So neat kind of body horror take on Mr. Freeze in this absolute Batman universe. So see what happens there. Truly liking that a lot. We have issue 1 in the new Amazing Spider-Man book by Joe Kelly. So far, I like this book quite a bit. Just kind of goes back to simple Spider-Man stories. You got Peter Parker trying to find a job, and of course that's not going too well because of the Parker luck. And him being Spider-Man always seems to cause grief in his regular life, interfering wise, makes him look like a dope and unreliable in that. You see him interacting with Aunt May. You see him trying to get a job at this new place where this kid from school vouches for him and helps him get on there, and I'm sure there'll be more to come with that character. And again, of course, Spider-Man has to leave and start doing battle against supervillains, so he's fighting the Rhino here. Really like the action in this series and the art so far. The art's just really great. I like it a lot. And Peter dealing with his regular Parker life, which is never really great. And we see him as Spider-Man here, who seems to get attacked by all his fears. So we kind of see some great artwork in there. Good start so far, and the introduction of a new character or two as well. So do check out this version of Spider-Man, volume, who knows what volume this is, of Amazing Spider-Man #1. Legacy's 965. Good start, better than the ending of that last series with the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. We have issue 4 of the new Aquaman series. I've been liking this pretty much. Way better than other Aquaman stuff. I'm not a huge Aquaman fan, but this one's neat. Aquaman's transported to this other dimension that is involved with water and that as well too, but it seems to be more kind of fantasy and sorcery stuff and magic and that. So that's pretty neat. He's dealing with these powers that he's gained since the end of Absolute Power, where when all the powers are being restored to the heroes, some went to the wrong heroes, and he's gotten Mira's water telekinetic powers, and now he's fighting alongside some of these people that he knows in this other dimension to help them fight back like these, almost like these pirates type of things. So great series so far. Another series from DC that I've been enjoying quite a bit is the Batman and Robin. This is issue 20. This has been dealing with the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Damian, and of course as them as Batman and Robin as well too. So both of them are not great when it comes to dealing with feelings, especially in fathers and sons in that, because neither one of them has had much experience in that, especially positive stuff. and Damien has been kidnapped by this Memento character, who is a pretty good villain so far. A neat book of this, or a neat part of this book is, a good part of it is this kind of childlike or teenage drawn graphic novel, which is the journal of Robin, kind of like his war journal. So a lot of the story kind of gets recapped in there as well. So that's pretty neat. Batman's doing whatever he can possible to help find this Memento and Robin. The best Batman book out there I've been finding since this issue 1, and this is issue 5 now, is Batman Dark Patterns. Danny Waters doing the writing and Hayden Sherman doing the artwork. Big fan of Haywood Sherman's art, have been for a while. This is neat. In this story arc, we have the Scarface character and ventriloquist. Of course, we all know that ventriloquist was controlling the dummy Scarface, and even though he always made it seem like that was a real person, it was just the dummy. Well, that's been transferred over now to a whole apartment building, this ghetto apartment building that's filled with people, and they kind of are like a gang or a cult that all follow what the apartment building says, which is Scarface. So it's been kind of neat. We see Batman infiltrating this building, trying to get inside and work his way to the top because he believes that's where ventriloquist is, and he does actually get up there at some point, but having to fight all the occupants of the building. It's pretty neat. Like I said, I do like the artwork. And then we do get to the top of the building where Scarface is. There's a bit of a twist there, so kind of neat. Do like this a lot, and like I said, I just find this to be the best the Batman book out there right now. Also from DC, issue 1, a new volume of Fire and Ice. When hell freezes over, we have the characters Fire and Ice. At the end of Absolute Power, when all the heroes' powers were being restored, their powers got mixed up when they got each other's powers. So Fire now controls Ice powers, and Ice has Fire powers. So they're dealing that back in that small town where they were for their last volume. Lots of fun and interacting with the quirky townspeople. Quite a bit of comedy in this book. So do check that out if you want. Like I said, towards the end of the book, one of them ends up trying to use a magic monkey paw to wish to get their powers restored to normal, and that does happen. But in a cursed monkey paw way, they switch bodies. So you got like a Freaky Friday thing going on. So from Image, we have the next one shot of the Silent Mission stuff, which is homages to the original silent issue of G.I. Joe way back in issue 21. This is Jinx. She's on the Cobra base and she's set a bomb, and the bomb is going to go off in 20 seconds. So each page represents 1 second on the timer, and it shows what she has to do to get through all these Cobra guards and out of the building before the explosion. So lots of action. Again, in real time, this only takes place in about 22 seconds, but the whole book itself is action-packed. Love the color, like Danny's artwork on here, so do check it out if you're looking for a fun one-shot G.I. Joe adventure with the Ninja Jinx. From Image, we have Golden Rage, Mother Knows Best. This is the second volume of Golden Rage. What it is in this society, old women have deemed useless once they're unable to bear children in that, and they get sent to an island and abandoned there where they must just survive on their own, whether it's fight to the death or join kind of tribes out there in that. But it's tough. So what happened at the end of the last one is a few characters have survived, and we have this one character here is kind of out on her own right now, just kind of living off the land, away from everybody. We check in, we see all these other regular characters from the first series that are living on their own in that. And you gotta remember, these are older ladies and that, so things are tough, and things happen, of course, as you're living on your own as a survivor. And of course, during all this, we have kind of political stuff going on too. So this is kind of like Golden Girls meets Lord of the Flies. So and again, all these women have been sent to the island because they're unable to have children anymore in that. And at the end of this book, one of them actually finds a baby that's been somehow left there. So neat twist on this. Looking forward to reading the rest of this series. From Dark Horse, we have the second issue of Let This One Be a Devil. This is part of James Tynion's True Weird imprint, which is focuses on like stories of like myth, legends, and cryptids and stuff like that. The first volume was Blue Book, which is all about the government's involvement with aliens. This one is about the Leeds Devil, this kind of devil satanic creature that was born to a family in 1735, and this one area has been kind of cursed with this creature ever since in that. So it's 1909, and this one guy here is back in this town. He's kind of investigating it, and he's also thought he saw it on his farm as well. So the book kind of going more and more into the history of this creature and that, and how this guy is kind of in town stirring up things and being made unpopular because of this. So we'll see what happens here. So kind of has like an Sleepy Hollow Ichabod Crane feel to it, but with this Leeds Devil character. So I enjoy that stuff, and if you enjoy monsters and cryptid stories, that's definitely up your alley. For Mad Cave, we have issue 2 of Pop Kills. This is that story about 2 competing soda companies, each owned by a brother, 2 siblings, and they do all kinds of crazy corporate espionage and assassination attempts and sabotages against each other to be the number 1 pop company. What's currently going on is one company has a scientist, an attractive lady, who has figured out a formula to make the fizz, the carbonation, last forever in the drinks. And the other company, the rival company, is trying to kill her or I guess convince her to work for them as well. So either or. A slimy kind of super agent has been hired to protect her as well too, and he's a total douchebag. And we see lots of action here, lots of adult humor. And in this issue here, we have a SWAT kind of takeout team sent there to eliminate him and hopefully either convince her to work for the other side or get her formula. So lots of action, lots of sexual innuendo and humor in that. And like I said, this is all between the 2 top soft drink makers, which are siblings. So kind of fun, kind of sexy, and lots of action. Lastly, we have issue 19 from the Image Skybound stuff, which is the Energon universe. So this is the Transformers and G.I. Joe shared universe. This issue here is the story of what happened to Megatron before he showed up in the current storyline of that. So we see him where he's picked up and tortured and experimented on as well by the Sharkticon masters. I forget what they were called there. So, and then he's constantly being experimented on, having to do the same tests over and over and over. Like I said, to be experimented on by these leaders of the Sharkticons and that. So, kind of neat book. If you're a Megatron fan, you'd like this. And if you've been a fan of the Transformers and the Energon stuff, you'll like this. So, keep checking this out. Alright, everybody, that's what I read for you guys this week. Hopefully you saw something you like and want to go check out. Do so and go support your LCS. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for more comic reviews.